Hey, how's it going, everybody? BurntBrian here. This is the first video in a series that I'm calling Whatever Wednesdays, which means it's just going to be whatever I feel like doing. It's not scripted. If you've noticed, I've been trying to put out a new schedule of releases for videos so that, you know, I can maybe work with the algorithm better if I'm putting out content on a more regular basis. So I decided to kind of change things up. This is a lot similar to what I used to do, which was called Tall Can Tuesday a long time back, where I would just crack open a beer and talk about whatever the viewers were interested. Anyone who comments on any of the videos, has feedback, you know, or wants to ask questions, I would answer those questions in these videos, just sort of an open vlog format. And I may end up doing these sometimes as a live, and that's what we'll talk about here in a few minutes, is get into what I see for the channel. And I want to get feedback from anyone who does watch this channel or you know, used to watch the channel. Maybe I can bring you back in. Today I'm going old school. Really, in my area, I can't find hardly any malt liquors. You can't find anything good in this small town. So I can't even get Old English 800 anymore. So no OE in this area that I'm aware of. I got to look a little bit harder. So I've just got the old classic King Cobra here in the glass bottle. Of course, we don't have 40s here. Just quarts is the biggest we can get in Florida, unfortunately. And this is also a test for the microphone. It's a bit of a windy day today. I've got cars driving by. So I just kind of want to see how this will work out if I want to have more videos like this in my front yard, just where I'm sitting now in front of my front porch. I've got amaryllis flowers growing behind me in multiple locations. I've got tons of flowers. You can see the pictures of those on my Facebook page. But anyway, the whole purpose of today's video really was just to you know, kind of reach out to everyone who still follows along, who's watching the videos I put out. If you're following me on Facebook, talk about the changes that are happening with the channel, what I'm trying to do. I'm really trying to bring it back, to be honest. You know, it's been years since I really, you know, spent a lot of time focusing on, you know, video production, filming, editing, all that. So I'm slowly getting back into it. My videos are still a little bit rough. Of course, I'm always open to any suggestions if anyone has any feedback on things that I can do better. You know, I would love to hear it. It's kind of been interesting as far as how I've kind of put things together. I've done a lot of research on, you know, the algorithms and how all that stuff works. And I know in the past when I was making videos, I was really inconsistent. It would just sort of be whenever I filmed something and I felt like putting it up, I would put it up. So I wanted to create a schedule that I would stick to, and I kind of just, you know, have using the days of the week as those schedules. So, you know, Mondays I've kind of dedicated as Munchie Mondays. It'll be videos that are all about any kind of food, whether it's a snack food, restaurant, you know, fast food. Or I'm cooking something. So if I'm going to do some smoked meats on my new pellet grill, I can show you guys the Boston butt, you know, brisket, things like that, some ribs, which I do have coming soon. You know, I just kind of did my first couple test runs with this new pellet grill. It came out great. The product was awesome. I mean, the brisket was amazing. To me, the Boston butt was just the best. It was the highlight of it all. It was amazing. It came out so tender. And, you know, the barbecue sauce, the Meat Mitch barbecue sauce that I found, I love that stuff. It's absolutely outstanding. But I do have a lot of other stuff coming as well, some other seasonings and barbecues. Before I get into the whole schedule, though, I do want to give a shout out to the malt liquor drinking community. I miss those guys. We used to do a lot of late night live streams, drinking. It was always label forward, you know, and you would always keep your drink in camera the entire time. Not doing all that. I'm just giving a shout out to everyone, throwing this back old school with some Cobra, King Cobra. Cheers. Oh, smooth and refreshing. I got my pup sitting here. It's nice that he's doing a lot better now as he's aging and getting a little older. He's not freaking out quite as much as he used to. Of course, right as I said that, there was someone walking down the road, and so my road is literally right here. It's in a small, quiet little community, so occasionally people will walk up and down the road. But while he is good and he listens really well nowadays, if someone's walking by, there's a good chance he could go running up to them. And he's a white pit bull. If some big pit bull goes running at you, they don't realize how sweet and friendly he is. They're going to think he's trying to attack him. So I just had to cut and put him on the porch for a couple seconds till they walk by. But anyway, back to the scheduling stuff. So yeah, I've tried to lay out the schedule. So you got your Monday munchies. I figured on Tuesdays I would do something like Techie Tuesday. So it would be probably taking a look at some of the home arcade stuff I've been working on, the virtual pinball setups. There's been a lot of really awesome virtual pinball tables that have been coming out on VPX. And I'm a subscriber on the VPU, the Virtual Pinball Universe website. It's an amazing resource if you're into the whole virtual pin cabinet builds and stuff. Gotten so many amazing tables there, and I paid $25, I think, for a year membership, which is just outstanding. I mean, the work that people put in to create these amazing tables, like the new one that just came out, the Matrix, that's an original collaboration between a couple of the best in the industry right now, the best in the amateur side making these tables. I think pretty much the main consumer side would be Zen Studios and their Pinball FX series or their Pinball M series. Those are sort of the main big producers. But anyway, I figured that could be something. Maybe the Tuesdays would be focused on arcade stuff, reviewing some new tables that came out, giving some shout outs and love to the creators of those. You know, again, Wednesdays would kind of be like whatever Wednesdays. Thirsty Thursdays are going to be in play for any kind of adult beverage. So recently, like my last video I put out was with the Bartesian, which is, if you don't know, it's an amazing robot bartender, as I like to call it. It's like the Keurig of alcohol drinks. You just pop in a capsule and press a button and you have, you know, an amazing drink made for you, like bar quality. It's amazing. I'll throw my referral code down in the description of this video. So if you do decide, if you watch some videos, check out my last video I put out on last Thursday. You know, see what you can get, what you can expect with this system. If you decide to jump in and buy it, use my referral code. I don't know what it does for me. I think it may give me rewards points to some extent, which is nice. I spend a lot of money with them. And rewards and points are always nice for, you know, getting a little bit of, you know, cash back. But anyway, after Thirsty Thursday, I think I'm not going to really do much of anything on Fridays. There may be occasionally, if something's really grinding my gears maybe, or if I just really feel like getting something out, I might do a Fuck It Friday, where we're just going to, you know, lay it all out there. Maybe, you know, work's been frustrating. A lot of things have been frustrating lately, both professionally and personally. So, you know, maybe that's the place that I go and vent about it on occasion. I don't plan to do Fuck It Fridays all the time, just maybe, you know, every once in a while. I think Saturdays are probably going to be my chill day where I'm not really doing much of anything. And then Sundays would be you know, spicy Sundays. And that would be for anything related to hot sauce, spicy foods, things like that. So I thought that a schedule would be good. It lets, you know, because I have varied interests, it lets the viewers, you know, you guys who may not like my, you know, craft beers, or you're not interested in any alcoholic beverages, you're more interested in, you know, the hot sauce reviews that I do, or the food reviews or something. So at least you'll know what to expect each day of the week. And again, having a consistent schedule really helps, I think, boost you in with the algorithm. So maybe your videos get pushed out there more to be seen. Give me 1 second. I got to yell at my dog here. I think one thing I learned is I'm not going to let him just roam around the yard in my future videos. Anyway, if you guys have any suggestions, feedback on how my videos could be better, if you are checking them out, I am trying to keep my videos shorter. I realize that long videos, people aren't going to stick and watch 10, 12-minute videos. So I'm trying to really work on my presentation, how I want the videos to look as far as the length, and really trying to focus less on my own just rambling and personal opinions and focus on the facts of whatever it is that I'm reviewing. I am trying to do a little bit of editing here and there by throwing in some, you know, I don't know, some background stories, some photos. Like if I'm reviewing a hot sauce or whatever, I try to show some photos or videos from the manufacturer of that hot sauce or beer or whatever it is. You know, try not to keep them too long. I think this may be the only video series where I'm going to just kind of let it be. However long it is however long. And for these Wednesdays, what would you think is better? Just sitting here and, you know, kind of talking about whatever I feel like, or would live videos be better? I kind of feel like, you know, doing live would be a lot more engaging, more interactive. I could come, you know, sit out in the yard when it's not so breezy. It's pretty windy today. You know, and do some live sessions, hang out, chat. I don't know. It's up to you guys. Let me know down below in the comments what you think, whether this should be just kind of what it is, maybe I'll bounce back and forth between lives and regular videos. I really don't know. It's a whatever Wednesday. You know, it's whatever it feels like, whatever I feel like putting out that day, and whatever you guys would want to see. I really do miss interacting. I had a lot of really good followers that were watching my videos. And, you know, years ago when I started, this was, I don't even remember how many years ago, 15 plus years ago when I first started doing YouTube stuff. You know, hot sauces and a lot of review videos like that were minor. You really didn't see a lot of those types of things. And it was becoming more and more popular. And there was just such a cool community within the chili head group, as people would call themselves chili heads, with eating all the spicy stuff. But, you know, there always ends up being internal drama and turmoil and people arguing with each other, and, you know, seed distributors fighting because obviously, you know, people want to protect, some of the more reputable seed businesses want to protect, you know, buyers from fraudulent companies, or, you know, companies that may be trying to pump out seeds that are unverified. You never know what you're going to actually get. I can tell you the one seed company that I've always gone to is Jim Duffy, and it was Refining Fire chilies. It's become Super Hot chilies now, I believe. But he was just always the source. You know that whatever you order seed-wise or pods or plants, because he was mailing whole plants. I think he's kind of stopped that this last year, or this may have been his last year. I'm not sure. But he was always the best, my go-to. You know, you pay for quality. You get what you expect from his stuff. So, you know, I get it. There's always drama in any community. It just kind of started to get out of hand with certain people. You have some people that have really like a show person like or actor like personalities and personas where they're really over the top. And then you have others that are just sort of chill, and I guess kind of like me. I'm just kind of a laid back dude. What you see is what you get. It's how I normally am. But yeah, all of those little communities end up fracturing at some point. And, you know, my life, I was bouncing from rental place to rental place, you know, from job to job, you know, working pawn shops for a while. When I first started doing YouTube videos, I was working in restaurants. I did restaurant work for over 13 years. I ended up going to college for a short period of time, for a couple years. And then, you know, worked in a pawn shop and bounced around a few places. And then I ended up, you know, getting the career where I'm at now. And, you know, I love it. It's just, it can be pretty frustrating at times. But it's a rewarding job, and I enjoy what I do. It takes up a lot of time, but it's afforded me where I'm at now. I've got a nice house. I've got a car, a brand new car. You know, things are going good in life now. I've got a girlfriend, my dog. You know, we've been together for almost 5 years now. We've had our dog here for almost 4 years. He'll be 4 in May. Yeah, things have been going really good. I just wanted to put out this video again to kind of go over the schedule and just kind of shoot the shit with everyone like I used to do with the Tall Can Tuesday series. And, you know, hopefully I get some interest from this. These were always just sort of heartfelt, straight up, more vlog style videos, no editing, no real cutting. Although if I'm going to yell at him, I'm going to cut the video a few times. Anyway, I've just been rambling. I have a whole lot of beer here to drink, a lot of this King Cobra to put down. So cheers for you if you've made it this far in the video. I appreciate you. Oh man, tell you, I just love this weather right now. What we're having in Florida, it's beautiful. We're in the, you know, high 70s to low 80s in the afternoons, and then the evenings have been dropping down to low 50s roughly. So mornings and evenings have been nice and cool. You can start your day with a hot coffee sitting on the porch in this beautiful little place. And I want to share more about my house where I'm living here now with everyone who cares. You know, most of the videos I did over 500, 600 different videos. And looking back at a lot of those, it's amazing. I guess because they keep these stored on old servers somewhere in YouTube, that most of the videos I put up, I mean, a lot of them are choppy now. They don't seem to play very well. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to keep all of those old videos, but I mean, I've done hundreds of hot sauce reviews and hundreds of craft beer reviews, but I'm starting everything fresh. So in all of these video series, these are the first episodes of what I hope will be, you know, a good transition back into this hobby of making videos. It was always something fun for me to do, and I enjoyed interacting with everyone who had similar interests, and that's what this really is all about. It's just, you know, I have no interest in making money off of this. This isn't, you know, me trying to get any extra income. I don't need it. My income is good. It supports everything that I want to do. It's nice to be in that place first time in my life, you know, to not really be stressing every day about every little thing, all the bills and all the problems. Life is pretty good. I want to share more about what's going on with me personally. The yard, I've got a lot of work to do, so I don't want to show off my yard right now. I've got to mow and I've got to clean up, but there's been a lot of patchy areas in my yard where, you know, mostly from Link running around and tearing it up. But I'm getting some seed down. I do have some really good grass growing in. I had the drain field replaced last year, so it was about $5,500, $5,600 to have the drain field replaced. We were having to dump the septic every, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so, maybe, if it would last that long. And that was just with me and my girlfriend. And then she had her daughter here, and her daughter was bringing a lot of little girls over that were showering and flushing the toilets a lot. So it sped it up. Sometimes we might only make it 4 months. So for me, coming up here next month in August, it's going to be one full year that we haven't had to worry about, you know, the septic filling up and, you know, everything being clogged up and having to drain the tank. We should be good for hopefully 4 or 5 years with this new drain field. And, you know, it helps improve the value of the house as well. But just having that peace of mind, not having to worry about, you know, whether or not you're going to shower and have the, you know, toilet and the tub back up on you or not. But I do a lot in the yard. I've really been planting a lot of these flowers. So like what you see behind me, if you can see them, the amaryllis flowers were something that my mom has been carrying around with her since the late 70s, early 80s. She's been taking these flowers, these amaryllis flowers that grow bulbs basically under the ground. And some of them produce seeds, some don't, some just grow more by producing daughter plants underneath. So new bulbs will pop up around the mother plant, if you will. And so she's been keeping these things going for all those years. These were my grandmother's flowers. And I never got to meet my grandmother. I mean, I think I did when I was a newborn, but I wouldn't remember, obviously. And she ended up passing away due to a drunk driver. When she went to go get milk for the family, she ended up getting in a head-on collision with a drunk driver, didn't have their headlights on, and she ended up passing away. And so my mom's been carrying around these flowers for all those years. And I, a couple years ago, got a bunch of the bulbs from her. And so I've got a couple different varieties. She's added to those original ones. Her sisters have given her a couple new varieties. And then just this year, she and I started our own sort of thing. And she bought me, both of us, this really awesome looking deep red flower that I actually did get 2 blooms out of that look amazing. They're beautiful flowers and they're really hardy. I mean, these things really don't need a whole lot of attention, a lot of water. You know, they were looking really wimpy during the freeze that we had here not that long ago, but they've bounced back beautifully. And I've got this whole row. So I think I'm going to try to redo all my raised beds at some point this year. I'll show you the before and after when I get that project underway. A lot of stuff's happening this year that I plan to cover maybe in whatever Wednesdays. And we're talking about putting up a 8-foot privacy fence around the backyard so that we have a little more privacy back there. I've got a little fire pit that I built. I'm going to be building out a deck that comes off the back of the house out of my office space area. And the whole point behind that is, well, if we have the 8-foot privacy fence, then I can put up a little screen door on my office back there, and I'd be able to just open my door and let Link go run around. We can go sit back there in privacy on a nice big deck with a, you know, gazebo type sitting area, and, you know, really enjoy ourselves, you know, even more, and give him the ability to just run around freely, because he's a pit bull. He's a big dog. He wants to run around, and, you know, we have to constantly watch him being right here on this little road. And we have the fence back there. There are some neighbors that have dogs, and there's a lot of woods back there where there's a ton of ticks. I tried to go back there. My dad told me to go back there and start clearing some of the trees in that area, because there's also an easement back there that I'm that I'm an owner of. And I tried to go back there and clean, and within 5 minutes of just being back there, I'd already counted, 7 or so ticks that had gotten on me. So we don't want him running around there. We want him to just stay confined in that big area, which it's not huge, but it's a decent sized backyard. And, once we have the fence up, we don't have to worry about him anymore. We can just let him do his thing and be a dog and run around and sniff gross stuff and pee on everything. That's what he likes to do. So that's all in the works this year. A lot of exciting stuff. I mean, most of my bonuses so far have been spent on doing a lot of major repairs for the home. Obviously, I did the drain field last year. A year or two before that, actually, I think it was just 1 year before that, I ended up doing a water softening system. So the water here was really bad, super hard water. A lot of iron in there as well. And it's because it's a really old well. I know at some point the well is going to need to be replaced. The pump, all of that stuff's going to have to be redone at some point. But at least as a temporary fix that was a lot cheaper than $15,000 well, I spent probably about $4,000 roughly on a good softener system, softener and filter system. So it's just so nice. I mean, when I was living here, I wasn't drinking any of the tap water. I was buying bottled waters from the grocery store, the big jugs, the 2-gallon jugs. And now we actually have fresh, clean water. We have, ice maker. We bought a really nice new fridge with an ice maker and a water dispenser. So it's nice, little things. Owning a home is a lot of work. It's a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of hassle. But, when you solve little problems, it just feels so good. It makes you appreciate having this so much more. And, hell, like some of the last videos that I was making when I was in Gainesville 5 years ago, it's been about 5.5, 6 years ago. It was 2020-ish. It was the whole COVID thing. I was living in Gainesville and still occasionally putting out some YouTube videos. And it was just, I was living in a 440 square foot, 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment that was right along a major road. It was 34th Ave, which is just a major road in Gainesville. And I had a Dollar General literally just right there. I could walk out my door and see the Dollar General. And so you had all these ghetto people pulling up and, with their cheap paper cone speakers, just basing out. And, it's so annoying. Like, nobody wants to sit there and listen to your music. And they would just park their car with their shitty bass playing and would walk around the store shopping, for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I'm sitting in this little apartment with poor insulation. Everyone who lived there had to listen to that shitty bass pump, while these people walk around. Now I come and sit out here, and the worst I hear is maybe, we have some guy out there that drives I don't know what kind of boat it is. It's like the kind of boat you would have on a swamp or a bayou. It's an airboat, basically, one of those huge turbine, airboats. And he runs that thing around. It is super loud. And occasionally we actually have a plane that comes and lands out here on the water, and, they'll do their little circle around, and you'll watch them as they go to take off, and they fly right out. It's pretty awesome. But in comparison to step out my door and see a Dollar General to now I step out and I see Lake Brooklyn over there, is beautiful. And I'm one of 8 owners of a little strip of land here that's just up the road from me. I think I may have done videos before, but I'll do maybe another next Wednesday video. I can walk down to the access and show you what we got. Right now it's looking pretty pitiful. Water levels have gone way, way down. They're farther than they've been in a while, which is really sad. But we're really hopeful that this year, because of a lot of efforts by the Save Our Lakes organization and, just working with county commissioners and others, that a great project was put in place. And so there's this giant pipeline that was built from Black Creek, and it comes all the way out here to this place. And the whole idea of that was to recharge the aquifer, to refill our area, to restore the wonderful lakes of our area. Keystone Heights was always known as the lake region. We have multiple lakes all around this area. And the goal of this project is when we get lots of rain and, heavy floods, which I'm hoping for heavy hurricane season, lots of rain. When we flood, when Black Creek ends up flooding, the waters will then be pumped out here into our lake, into Lake Brooklyn. And once this lake reaches its high level mark, it'll then start to trickle and feed into some of the other lakes, like Lake Geneva is another big major lake in this area. And they're already underway now with some projects to start clearing a lot of the trees that have been growing in the lake beds with that whole goal of, you know, when the water levels rise, you don't want a bunch of dead trees out in the water, and you just don't want the trees to be there at all. So they're going to clear out that whole bed so that we end up, you know, when the water does get to that point again, they'll be able to go out and enjoy, you know, you know, their lake as well. Really hoping to see this thing come back to its former glory. My mom lives just across the street from me, basically. It's not very far. It's probably a quarter mile or so from where I'm at. And she's on the deepest part of what they call the bay, of Brooklyn Bay. And our lake is basically divided into two parts. You have Lake Brooklyn that's on one side of the bridge, and then you have the bay, Brooklyn Bay, and that's on the other side of the bridge. And it's just a small little circle area. It's a small cove. But she's on the deepest part of that. And so I know, you know, she's just done so much work to have a beautiful lakefront property. And we're all really looking forward to having our lakes restored. And you know, for me, it'll be just so nice to be able to walk right over there and go down. And we're talking about building a screened in pavilion and a few other things there so that everyone who has access, basically anyone on this side of the road who doesn't live directly on the lake, many years ago were deeded access to be able to go and use this point, whereas there were 8 owners, and I'm one of those 8 owners along with one of my neighbors up the road. And we've really been trying to maintain that spot. We've got, you know, gates up to keep people out that shouldn't be in. Everyone who has deeded access has combination codes to be able to get in and go and enjoy the water. And that was the whole point. I think what the original owners of the land, when they granted all of these deeded accesses, was to allow anyone over here the luxury and ability to go down and enjoy being at the waters of Lake Brooklyn. So really looking forward to that. I need to take another swig out of this. If you're still watching, you know, you guys are you're the diehard fans. I appreciate you. Cheers. I'll tell you, in Gainesville, there'd be a car driving by every 5 seconds, usually, sometimes more than that. It was a little less during COVID when everyone was hiding in their houses. I was not hiding. I was out there walking in the middle of the road at 5:30 a.m. and it was amazing to see nobody on the roads, just everybody tucked away, hidden in their houses for the flu. Now out here, you know, I'm sure since watching this, I can see the volume bar spike here and there. So I'm sure when cars are going by, you could probably hear them and maybe a little bit of the wind, but God, it's so nice out here compared to where I used to live. Every day I come and sit on the porch morning and evening, and I'm just so thankful to be here and not living in fucking Gainesville, Florida. Gainesville has just become such a shit place to be. It used to be an awesome city, but man, you know, the utility company GRU is outrageous for that little bedroom, that 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 440 square foot place. I was paying $170 for my electric. Here last month, our bill was $190 for a 1,500 square foot house, 3 bedroom, 1 bath. You know, it just blows my mind. Clay Electric is so much better. It's amazing how moving from one county to the other can really, you know, change things. Of course, taxes are high. Really hoping our governor does. You know, maybe if we get it on the I guess it's supposed to be on the ballot this year in November. There's going to be some sort of proposal put forward with possibly eliminating, you know, property taxes in general for people that own their home. You know, it's like the governor said, and I agree, you shouldn't have to continuously pay the government taxes for the home that you own. You know, you've bought this property. I think the plan was, you know, major developers, commercial sites, you know, gas stations, all these other businesses would have to continue to pay. And I don't know what local governments would do. I mean, there's obviously talks of, you know, local governments would try to institute sales taxes of some kind to try to make their money, because, you know, every local government uses the tax dollars they collect from homeowners for all of their pet projects. And I think that's one of the big reasons why I would love to have my property taxes eliminated, or at least drastically reduced. This is my homestead. You know, I don't have children in school. I don't have any children of my own at all. And, you know, her children are out of school. So, you know, to continue to pay into something for schools and for certain systems that I never use, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Well, anyway, the sun is starting to blind me and I keep getting interruptions from people walking down the road. It is a nice day, so I totally understand people walking around and enjoying this beautiful Florida weather while we still have it. But so if you've made it this far in the video, again, truly appreciate you guys. Hopefully this video series, we can do whatever. It's whatever Wednesday, so whatever we feel like put out there. Hopefully I get some feedback from everyone. If you'd like to see some different formats, if you'd like to see these be more live occasionally, which is what I plan to do, at least have a couple lives, maybe once a month or something, where just set it up and enjoy some of this beautiful weather and have a beer with everyone. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. You know, please make note of the schedule. So, you know, whatever your interests are, if you're following me for hot sauces or munchies or, you know, alcoholic beverage reviews, whatever, there's a day for it. So, you know your day now. Anyway, appreciate you. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this one and get out of the sun because literally I'm being blinded right now. Cheers, everyone.